European countries are very rich, your economy, and the other country is more than the others. And European country should accept refugees for security and better life. That's all, teacher. This is my answer.
Okay, maybe David, please.
Okay, to open the question of the partner Cindy. Okay, there are several reasons for the European countries have to receive migrants. The first reason, migration, the people benefit the economic dynamics of the nations by giving them the opportunity to develop more better human capital. In the second reason, migration that the people increase productivity by enriching and diversifying the labor supply and creating incentive for competition. I think that the immigrants complement the skill and the long terms, even create a new market for different products based on the demand generated by migrants themselves. The third reason for what the European should be receive migrants. The migration had direct on the indirect effects on economic growth. For example, in the USA, we estimate that inclusive migration reform would rise in the per capita by more than the 115 and reduce the accumulated federal deficit. Now, the fourth reason, the immigrants can be contributed in the demographic dividend. The people who are most likely to immigrate are between the age of the 20 or 40 years, considered the most productive years in the person's life. Europe is getting old. This is a topic that we can attend. Thank you.
Okay.
Teacher, can I rebuttal?
Thank you, David. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
No, I'm asking if I can rebuttal, like if I can respond to
Yes.
my
Yes. Yeah. For sure. For sure. You go
okay.
ahead.
Taking into account the reason that the opponent said, I understand that. I understand Europe probably has a better economic than Colombia, and it can be a nice place to live, but it's not the only one. This war is huge, and there are other countries in better situations than in Europe. And if we can see how Europe faced the pandemic, we can realize that it's not as good as we think. People are struggling there a lot. But on the other hand, there are another countries, like for example, Canada is a very nice place to live. So I think Europe is not the only place where people can immigrate there. Sorry. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. And now maybe Vladimir, you can make a question for Lady and for Claudia.
Okay. If there's an agency for refugees that organizes them and helps them get better place, why they decide to go only to Europe? Why the immigrant or the refugees only look for to Europe?
Sorry, you're cutting off, or I don't know if it's me. Sorry, I think maybe Vladimir, you can repeat, please.
Okay.
Yes, because we couldn't listen to you. Good, thanks.
I was telling you guys that if there's an agency for refugees that organizes them and helps them to get a better place, what I try to see, teacher, or to explain is that we should use a new agency to find another place to live, right? And my question is why they only immigrate to Europe. I agree with my partner. She said that there are many places to immigrate, like Canada, like Australia, like whatever other place. My question is that why they right? That is my question.
I get it. Well, I personally think, in order to answer that question, that they don't even care about if it's Europe or not. Most of them, they don't even know how it's the economy in the world, because they don't have. I mean, some of them don't have access to the internet. We see, for example, in Asia, in Afghanistan, there's a lot of people that they don't have access to many tools in order to realize how the world is right now, how is the economy right now. They just want to survive. They just want to look for a better place to live. So they don't even care where they go. They just want to get out of there. So and they go to the closest country that they find, and they go through the sea, going in a dangerous situation just because they are having a really hard situation in their countries and they want to look for a better place. But it's not because they say, okay, in Europe there's a better economical situation and I wanted to go there. No, just because they want to survive. So they say, I have to get out of here, no matter the country, no matter I don't know, I mean, if it's Europe, if it's Canada, if it's Australia, they just want to look for better opportunities. They just have to have the life that they wish of So I don't personally think that they care about it. They just care about their lives and their children and their situation that they haven't. So that's my point of view. Thank you. Maybe Claudia, please, can you answer the question from Vladimir?
Okay. My opinion about the question is I think some countries, for example, Austria, Germany, I don't know, open their doors to them. But I think that others put offenses and close their borders. Nevertheless, in the in the 21st century, natural disaster. For example, sometimes to climate change. in addition to persecutions and conflict, many of them to create raids and embark on dangerous journeys in an effort to escape conflict. I find that a better life in this country. I said before. Um, because they can also force people to seek refugees in other countries. I don't know. This is my opinion. Mm,
Okay, thank you, Claudia. And now I would like maybe it can be, Lady, you can ask a question for Cindy and Gladwin, please. Only one question, okay, for them.
Only one question. Okay, I have it here. So my question would be: don't you think human rights are degraded if we don't support migrants, and why?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Sure, of course.
Slowly, yes.
Okay, sorry. So, don't you think human rights are denigrated if we don't support migrants, and why?
I think they are not, as long as Europe, what is doing is protecting himself to be able to protect others. That's what they are looking for. It's not that they don't want refugees. It's also for the safety and the help for others, for those immigrants that are coming. They believe in human rights. We believe in human rights. It's just that there are better options than in Europe. It's not the only one. So, yeah, I mean, that's only what I can say.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe too in human rights, but there are rules to immigrate, right? There are many rules, excuse me. For example, I was telling you about the ACNUR. It's a branch of the ONU that it work in protect and assist refugees, right? And uh, and helps them to find another better place. That, in my opinion, Europe is not the only place. Exists Canada, exists I don't know, Australia, like my partner. There are many places to live with a better economy. Only Europe is not the only one. That is my answer for that question. But I believe in human rights too. Teacher, that's it.
Sorry, I was speaking with my microphone off. Maybe Laila, can you ask a question for Cindy, please?
Yes, teacher. My question is, as citizens in our model, we are examples for our children to help those who need them. Why not accept refugees in our country or in another country? Why?
because of the crisis that is going on right now in Europe. It is not because they don't want. It is because there is a crisis already. There are coming many refugees, not just from Colombia. There are many refugees that are coming also from Afghanistan as well, a lot. And every year is thousands of people. There is a point where they can't handle it. They don't have that support, and they don't have the, I mean, his economy is not like it looks like. And now they are facing a really hard situation, and it's not just Europe, it's also in every single country in the world. So that's why Europe shouldn't lend refugees entry to the other country.
Okay, thank you. Laila, Lady, okay, now we can have David, you can make a question for Bladwin, please.
It's okay. They're Bloodwin. Consider that the advanced migration
David, if I don't know if it's me, but I can't hear you. I can't
I
listen to
can
you.
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, David,
It's
we can't listen to you.
It's possible his internet.
Yes.
It's not working good.
Maybe while David just like fix his internet, maybe Claudia, you can ask to Bladwin a question, please.
Okay, teacher. My question is, do you think that the people who live and suffer the war in the Middle East have no right to have a better life in Europe?
Excuse me.
Sorry. Slowly, please. Slowly.
Do you think that the
Sorry.
people who live and suffer the war in the Middle East have the right to have a better life in Europe?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I believe that they have a better life in Europe, but as was telling you, Europe is not the only place to good economy. A good touring place with a good job, with to get a lot of money to support your family. It's a dream for each one. But what I try is that exist in other places. Only Europe is not the only place to emigrate. And exist. I think that maybe the people should use the ACNUR agency for it. That is my answer for that question.
Okay, thank you. And maybe David, you can continue with your question.
Okay. To Cindy, to Bloodwin.
To Bladwin, please.
About. Okay. Bloodwin, considering that advance of migration, let me know your opinions. What are the reason to the people move on in another country?
What is the reason? What? Sorry, I couldn't hear
Okay.
you
What are the reasons
clearly.
to the people move on another country?
Like
What
why
are
they
the
move,
reasons? Move.
why they
Okay,
move
okay.
to another
Why the
country.
reason why the
I
people
think
move
that
to another country? There are there are many reasons. Maybe for war, maybe for they don't find a good economy in their country. There's a lot of reasons to immigrate to another country, but what I can, what I think is people immigrate to another country for to find a better a best option, a better option to find a good job, to find more opportunities for their family. I don't know, but in Colombia, the most popular reason is for the war, for the internal problems, right?
okay, thank you
Okay,
guys.
of course.
Now I have a question for you all guys, okay? Maybe we can begin with I don't know, with Laila. And the question is for you all, okay? And the question is, how does immigration affect the situation? No, sorry. How does immigration affect the economic situation in Europe, for example? How does immigration affect the economic situation in Europe?
Yeah, actually, that is happening. Actually, the Europe is in crisis because there are many people arriving in that place. I was reading about it. The is therefore Europe is not accepting more people. Uh, first is because the pandemic, and second because there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people there arriving to that German, French. There are a lot of people migrating over there. That is a big problem because, for example, uh, if in Colombia, the Venezuelan country and our economy is not good for support them, right? That is my answer, teacher.
Thank you, Vladimir. Maybe Laila, you can answer to that.
Bueno,
Laila,
sorry.
please. Laila,
Yes,
please.
teacher. Teacher, I think the migration don't affect those European country because refugees and migrants stimulate the economy, complement the job market, labor foreign people is more is cheaper than the native people in that European country. I think don't affecting the economy in these countries. It is my opinion.
Thank you, Laila. Maybe we can have also David. What is your opinion about that? I
Okay,
repeat the question, David. How does immigration affect the economic situation in Europe?
okay. My opinion, the migration don't affect economic economic Europe. Conversely, the migration can contribute the food security by guarantee sufficient in food production. The problem is not migration. The problem is discrimination against migrants. In another hand, the migration contribute the care work. For example, by carrying out cleaning service, food preparation, child cares, and older adults. Other reason for the immigration is positive to Europe, economic Europe, is that the growing present is allowed the significant number of the women to enter in the labor market of the world, the longer hours. That's a whole, teacher.
Thanks, David. Now, Cindy, what do you think? How does immigration affect the economic situation in Europe?
It can affect Europe economically because they have many issues already now, starting from the pandemic, and they don't have the economic support to pay for safe and health to refugees. We are not talking about 2, 3, 4, 5. We are talking about thousands of people in really bad conditions. So how? It's like they don't know, they don't have from where they can take money to be able to help them. So that is also gonna bring like many things. For example, the rejection of the population in Europe to those new people, and poverty and lack of job and many things more. That's all. Thank you.
What about you, lady? What do you think?
As my partners, David and Leila said, I consider that they can do it, that is not going to affect a lot of the economy. As I mentioned before, there are a lot of European countries that don't have a lot of population. The thing is that if migrants, all of them migrate to the same country, of course, it's going to be a problem because it's going to be a lot of people there. But for example, in Monaco, Luxembourg, Iceland, Ireland, among others countries, they don't have a lot of population, and if they're organizer, all of the migrants, they can divide it in those countries in order to help them even with the economy, supporting, as they're going to offer more jobs, they are going to work even for less money, as you can see here in Colombia that Venezuelans came here and they don't work for a lot of money, and they know how to do a lot of things, and they support the economy as well. But as they came, all of them came to the same country, so it became a problem. But when we find a solution and we find a way in order to divide it in the different countries that even needs population, so I don't think it's going to be a problem then.
Okay. And here we have another question, and that is also for all of you. Because immigration, like the different immigrants, they have all like a different culture, right? Because they are from all parts of the world, right? So they have a very different kind of cultures that we have here in Europe. And for example, right now I am living here in France, and right now there is like the next year we are going to have like we have to choose the president, and there is a new candidate, and he is saying that he will send back I don't know, I can't remember how many immigrants to their original country, because France can't handle anymore like more immigrants. So he is saying that he is going to send back a lot of immigrants, and he is not going to receive more immigrants. And the weird thing is that there is a lot of people like being agree with him, in with those kind of thoughts. So one of his principal reason is because the immigrants they don't accept, or they can't learn or accept the culture of the country. For example, in this case, France, right? So my question is, do you think that immigration affects culture, the local culture of the country? I repeat my question because I explained a lot of things.
No, yeah,
I repeat again. Does
I understand.
immigration affect the local culture of the country?
Me too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Sorry. Living, please, or me?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I
Teacher, I think it's reasonable to say the immigration don't affect the culture. In this case, European country, because they are host country, and enrich them, because many people around the world to enter Euro, and there are many practices like religion, food, etc. That is my opinion. Don't affecting the culture. That's all. This is my point of view.
Teacher, I think that, yeah, I believe that the immigration affect the culture of the country. Yes, because let me show you an example. In this moment, you're in train, right? But if you go to Quebec and you try to speak with the people over there, maybe you can understand everything what they say you. Why? Because in Canada, existed two parts. The part where speaking English and the part where speaking French. But the people who speak in French get of times part of the culture of the native people in that place. It's therefore they change a little bit their language, right? It's because I think that if you go over there in Canada, in Quebec, you can understand them. That is my answer for that question, teacher. Hi.
Yes, please
Can you hear
continue.
me?
David and Lady, please. Do you think that immigration affects the economy of affects the culture of the local country, the local culture?
I don't personally think it's going to affect the culture because Europe, it's a very open-minded continent. There are a lot of cultures there. So they're used to live with people from different places and with different beliefs. So, of course, there's a lot of people as well that they're conservative. They don't like people with different thoughts, but you can see that in all of the world. So, Europe is a very, as I said before, open-minded country. They're used to get this kind of people there, even for when people go there to study from different places. So there, it's not really a problem if we talk generally. It's just for those little average of people that is very conservative, but most of them are not. So I don't think so.
Thank you, lady. Maybe David, please. And next, Cindy. Do you think that the immigration affects the
Okay.
local culture of a country?
Okay. And in my experience, I was migrate for 16 years in Venezuela. So I seen that the migration don't affect the culture in another country. Commonly, the culture is created through the exchange of custom and the chain of the habit, hobbies, and the interaction of the language too. Mm, I consider that a country that receive immigrants reach or enrich your culture. This is my opinion, teacher. Considering my experiencia as a migrant.
Thank you, David. And now, Cindy, please.
Sorry, teacher, can you repeat the question again, please?
Yes, for sure. How does immigration affect the local culture of a country? How does immigration affect the local culture of a country?
It can affect them in the future in the way that it's gonna be the value of the work. Like if there are many people willing to do a job for, I don't know, 10 Europe, maybe this immigrant can do it for less. And that's one of the things that we are facing as well in Colombia. The value of work. It can bring lack of job as well. And depend of where these people are coming from, it also will affect the culture there. So those things can affect them, can affect the local areas in Europe by the immigrations. A huge amount of immigrations.
Okay, guys. And now I would like you to make like the conclusion, please. Each one of you.
Teacher, in general, is in general or
Sorry.
is just from our position?
In general, please. What also, like the different point of views that your mates have shared with you.
Okay, as a conclusion, I just want to say that this is a really nice and like tricky topic, and I like that everyone has different ideas, and yeah, different ideas of why Europe should or shouldn't let refugees to come to their country. I like to hear all the points of view of everyone, and it left a good reflection about what can happen in the future when you let many refugees to come to your place, and how that will affect your place. So I just want to say that I like this topic, and it just left me a good reflection of it.
Teacher, as my conclusion is that the refugees or the immigrants have to do everything in order. They have to use the agencies to get a solution of this problem. For example, what I was telling you, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is the best agency for that. And what else? Um, I think that the refugees they have to see or they have to look at another places to immigrate, right? Not only the same place, the same place. Sorry, not only the same place to arrive there. That is my conclusion, teacher.
Teacher, my conclusion about this topic is closing the door to refugees fleeing violence will increase antagonism, alienation, and anti-Western sentiment. European countries should accept the refugee, give them housing, healthcare, food security. Fortunately, there are international laws to protect refugees. Countries have a legal obligation to let refugees and protect them. This is my conclusion about this controversial topic. Thanks, teacher.
In my opinion,
David?
okay, in my opinion, as a conclusion, we have to consider that the migratory movements, the people are actually generated by dangerous situation in in their countries. Uh, this allows us to get or to understand that a person who migrates doesn't do also their own free wills, but it's motivated in share of a better quality of life, despite the risks to the which they are exposed. Maybe it is worse than the one who is fleet. To finally, the problem the problem is not migration. The problem is the discrimination against to the migrants.
Problem is that the immigration don't accept the rules in the country where they arrive.
And
I personally think that every person fleeing or facing violence, persecution, or like a bad situation, they all deserve. They have the right to look for safety, no matter where they came from, no matter where they're going to migrate. I mean, talking in general, we have to accept it and provide opportunities because we all deserve it, and we have to respect the human rights. So um, we have to assist people as everyone. I mean, we all are human and we all deserve the same opportunities. And when people go to another place and they rebuild their lives, they're doing easier when they have a decent life or when they have access to a better education. So that's my opinion. I'm really agree with this.
okay, thank you all, thank you, your students. I think that we can finish the debate. Thank you very much for being here, and I wish you all a good afternoon and an excellent week for you all. Okay, thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Okay.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye, teacher.
See you.
Bye, partners.
Okay,
Bye.
have a
See
good
you.
day, partner.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Have a
Bye.
nice
Have
Bye.
a nice week.
Be careful, teacher.
Bye.
Thank you, Leila. You too. Well, see you guys. Okay, bye. See you.